Thanks for coming to Game Night at Tantrum House. I have a charcuterie tray ready for the party.
Hey gang, thanks for joining us at Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sarah Meadows, and today we're reviewing the game Charcuterie from 3WS. It's designed by Whitney Lorraine and Josh Camden, and it features art from Jola Sopek.
This is a 2 to 6 player I Cut You Choose set collection game where players are adding various foods to their charcuterie board. 3WS gave us a copy of the game while we were at Origins actually, and so we thought we'd share it with you guys here. Let's check it out.
In the game, each player will take turns acting as the host and will pull a number of food tiles out of the bag based on your player count, and then we'll select how to stack them in an I Cut You Choose style.
Then in turn order, players will select a stack and add the item to their own personal board.
Players will be trying to arrange their ingredients for the best possible score based on the 6 public scoring objectives and their own personal scoring objective.
Some objectives will have you score for items being adjacent to one another, so they'll need to touch, while others might score in pairs, so a final count of them at the end of the game will determine your score.
Players will pick and pass and take turns, and after the final tiles have been drawn, players will have 1 minute to finish up arranging their boards before final scoring.
Players will reveal their secret objectives and tally points, and then the player with the most points wins. Charcuterie is one of those games that just makes sense. I don't want to say it's like a perfect game, but it's one of those things where you pull this out and people will be attracted to it just because of the theme and the art and the familiarity with the concept. And then the rule set for the game is simple enough. The setup is easy. Like, people are ready to just jump in and play this game. It's a light-ish weight game. It's not hard, and so it's got the replayability going on, and then it also is just the type of game that's going to fit really well in most scenarios. So it works great at game night, it works great at dinner party, it works great at, game convention or whatever when you're pulling something out that's fun to show off. So I don't like to call games perfect, but this game is good. It's a good game.
Yes, the rule set is light enough that you can play out in a mixed group of people that may or may not be heavy into gaming. It also has some downtime in between turns depending on your player count. So if you're playing at the high player count, there's going to be a little bit of time while you're waiting for everybody to make their selection using the little cutting board that the host has set up for that round. And so you can actually have time to sit and eat your own charcuterie
or
board.
fiddle with your bits and move your pieces around. The good thing about the game is you don't have to lock in your placements until the end of the game. So while you're going to be trying to fulfill all those adjacency rules and get everything stacked up on each turn, you can rearrange as new pieces come out, and then you do have final time at the end of the game to really perfect your presentation so you can get all those points and don't get chopped. And the chopped champion, that's a different game. The game features some really beautiful art. The tiles look really good. My favorite part of the game is that the scoreboard, when you flip it over, there's crumbs on it, and without fail, someone at the table will try to dust the crumbs off. That's how real they look. It cracks me up every time. Really approachable theme. I mean, people come in and they kind of immediately know, I'm going to be stacking meats and cheeses next to each other, and I got to get some fruits. Probably the only thing in the game that takes people a minute or two is the difference between hard cheeses and soft cheeses. Apparently we don't know those by heart, and so you got to look at the little reference guide to be able to tell. But the game does have all the reference materials you need too, which is pretty slick.
I wish the player aid cards would have given a little more determination between what adjacent and pair. Explaining that the first time does take a little bit, but that's really the rules that you're explaining to play the game. I can see how some players may not enjoy this game because there is downtime. So it might be too lightweight for some players. If they want a more advanced game, there are some more difficult objectives, so not playing with the base objectives that are pretty easy to accomplish would make it a lot more difficult, and you would be probably trying to fight over which stacks that you're going to. So it's going to, when you're the host, you're getting whatever stack is left, so you have to be careful not to make one all dips or really awful or stuff you don't want, so that hopefully you get some items that you're really hoping for.
Yeah, everybody in the game is going to have their own unique secret objective, which is actually helpful because it, for example, if you have the objective that's like the vegan or whatever, you're trying not to get any meat on your platter, that actually kind of helps you out because you can kind of stack some meat into the other offerings that you're giving to people and hopefully not get stuck with it at the end of the game. The ones where you're trying to avoid getting ingredients on your board, I think are probably the harder goals because you don't know what you're going to get stuck with at the end. But that does make the I Cut You Choose portion of the game more strategic as you think through, oh, she is definitely collecting dips over there, and let me stick this meat in with her so she takes it. So at especially lower player counts, it's going to feel more strategic because your I Cut You Choose matters more. When you get to the bigger player count, it's like, oh, I'm just going to get stuck with whatever's left at the end. I can't pay attention to what everybody's doing. Let's just divvy them out. Which actually then in that case speeds it up a little bit so there's not as much downtime because you don't have to think as hard about it. There's levels, there's layers, there's dips, there's other things.
Yeah, in this game, the scoring is fairly simple at the end. There are some rules as far as how you arrange your ingredients. So you have to be able to see a majority of the piece, so you can't cover up 3/4 of one of the crackers and then not be able to see it. You can't have pieces hanging off. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of rules as far as placement, but you can get a little deeper with groups and subgroups of items that can score together.
Right, that's where the tile placement gurus will come in because they'll be like, oh no, wait, if I rearrange it over here, and since you've got that ultimate freedom, it does give you a lot of choices in the game. I have no idea what's to come in the future of this game, but it makes sense that there's got to be like a salt and sweet expansion coming at some point with new goals, and you got to give me some pretzels in there, Reese's, I don't know, it just needs to be out there.
Reese's? What kind of charcuterie?
That's the kind that I'm eating for sure. Give me the chocolate and the extra stuff. I want it in there.
If this sounds like something you're interested in, you can check out Charcuterie from 3WS Games. Thank you so much for checking out our channel and subscribing to our videos here at Tantrum House.